Hi, I'm Boyd Swinburn. I'm Professor of Population Nutrition and Global Health at the University of Auckland, and I'm going to talk about the Food-EPI, the Food Environments Policy Index, which is a way of measuring and benchmarking government action on implementing policies for healthier food environments. So the Food-EPI is part of a wider structure, a wider group of modules under the Informis network. So Informis is an international network of researchers doing research on measuring and benchmarking food environments. The Food-EPI is this module up here which measures the implementation of government action. We also measure private sector action, and there are 7 different modules to measure food environments. But we're going to focus on the Food-EPI, which is up here, and the structure of that is that there are 2 broad components: the food policies themselves and infrastructure support. Within food policies, we have those 7 domains of the food environment: composition, labelling, promotion, provision, retail, prices, and trade and investment. And we have 6 infrastructure support domains. They combine with 42 good practice indicators, which creates the index. You can see over on the right, on the left-hand side here, the number of countries that are currently undertaking the Food-EPI. So the process of developing the Food-EPI is that we collect the data, the relevant data, to show the degree of implementation. We identify government officials to validate that evidence. We rate with a group in a workshop. We rate the degree of implementation of those policies against international benchmarks. They are then qualified and commented on, and the implementation gaps that are identified are converted into a set of recommendations for government. So we end up translating the results for government and stakeholders in a solution-oriented way. This is to give you an example of what it looks like for New Zealand. So we did this in New Zealand in 2014. These are the 20-odd policy indices for the food policies. You can see that for a couple of them, New Zealand is at international best practice. For another few of them, where New Zealand is doing not too badly, but a whole raft of them, nothing very much is happening in New Zealand. For the infrastructure support, you can see for New Zealand that there's a larger number where we're at international best practice, a number where there's a medium degree of implementation, and actually only one where there's very little implementation. So those policy gaps that were identified then get converted into potential actions, and for New Zealand we identified 34 potential actions. They then go through a priority setting on the degree of feasibility and importance, and from those get distilled the top priorities. And for New Zealand it was around comprehensive plans for childhood obesity, a set of targets, increased funding, restricting marketing of junk food to kids, healthy policies, healthy food policies in schools and early childhood centres, implementing the Health Star rating labelling program, and a 20% excise tax on sugary drinks. So you can see how we've gone in an evidence-based way from identifying where the gaps are in implementation, converting those into potential solutions, and prioritising them as the top recommendations. So I hope that's given you a bit of a quick overview of the Food-EPI, and I hope that works well in your country.